and welcome to another review here on my channel. Take a look at The Purge election year. Yes indeed. The Purge are essentially one of the few horror series that I am actually watching throughout, essentially. I don't know why, I just felt like it wasn't really 100% a horror series, so that's one of the reasons. It just felt more like a thriller the first movie, and it later become more of an action horror kinda thing, in my opinion. Of course, it is my opinion, so yeah. But this is the third movie in the series, and I have nothing more to say, so let's just jump right into it. First election year is essentially set before an election between two candidates, one that wants to keep the purge going on in the United States, and one that wants to essentially dissolve it. Essentially, she don't want it to continue, and this is essentially 2 days before, if I remember correctly, before the purge day, essentially. And we will see some of the bad things and the good things about the purge. One of the bad things is that it is used, some information have essentially erupted, that it is used by the politicians in order to eliminate poor people, in order to save money. But it also keeps giving money to this society via tourism and etc, etc. So yeah, but of course we will follow the main politician that wants to dissolve it, her lifeguard, and some characters from a store, essentially. That is the characters that we follow during the movie. They will meet up in a way that I don't really want to talk about because it is kind of spoilish, but anyway. Before, I think it was the day before the purge, they essentially, the politicians that rule the country essentially decides that all people can be killed now, essentially in the purge. Before this, the people above level 10, which essentially are politicians or important people for the country, you could essentially not kill. And now it is acceptable, essentially. And they want to use this in order to kill the politician that is essentially against this the purge, essentially. Then the purge begins. All the madness begins with killings and etc, in really weird ways, and you will see how they essentially go away in order to try to save their lives to this night. For the most part, this story essentially, it's different in a way that they essentially use more of a, what is it called, escort mission kind of feeling in this movie, essentially, because they try to save the politician in order to end the purge, because we will see the people that are affected by this for the most part in this movie, and I really like it for that reason, but at the same time it just feels a little bit too much on the heavy side. It feels more like feels that in the end it feels a little bit more of a cult, this purge thing, when you think about it, and the cult essentially won in the beginning. So yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's kind of weird, but I kind of like the storyline. The effects are essentially really good in this movie, because you will see the killings of several people that essentially looks real, and that is really good for this type of movie, because they want to show the killings of several people and they want to show the madness of this night, and they really do that in this movie, and I really like it, and the effects are amazing because of that. The characters for the most part isn't that interesting. We have this guy that is running a store that is trying to save his store because he thinks people are going to destroy it during this night and steal everything in it. And he has one of his workers, essentially he wants to make a co-owner, and he also had another friend that essentially goes around saving people during the night, I think you can call it. And we have, of course, the politicians, we have the lifeguard that is trying to save everyone, and the politician, that was a dog. And for most of the characters are good, but sometimes it could feel a little bit too generic in my opinion. The lifeguard guy feels more like an action hero in this movie, and that doesn't really fit in my opinion to this a horror movie essentially. The other characters aren't that interesting for the most part, because we have the paid soldiers and they are just there to get killed essentially by the regular people and just to feel more action oriented, I don't know. So for most of the characters are meh. The environments in this movie are essentially a city, and they're going around it trying to get away from the paid soldiers and essentially trying to stay alive. And I don't know exactly where they are. I think it was Washington DC at first, but then it goes back and forward, but ultimately I think it was Washington DC. And they're trying to beat that into the head with a lot of monuments from the town or city, and a lot of costumes essentially portraying the different presidents of the United States. So the environments are for the most part interesting, but yeah, it isn't really clear where they are, in my opinion. Until you see some of the monuments, of course, but they could be anywhere else, I don't know. The Purge election year is the third movie in a series that just feels like they're trying to keep it going until it's stop making money. That is how I feel it essentially feels for the most part. Even though the storyline are decent in my opinion, the characters are just meh. The effects, on the other hand, are great. But the environments, it isn't really clear where they are, and they are decent. But overall, this is just an okay movie. It is, as I said, it's third in the franchise. And even though I like the first two movies, this one just feels a little bit meh, because it feels like they're trying to make it much cooler, much bigger, but I'm just feeling a little bit unsatisfied with this one, because it felt more like an action movie and a quest, and I can't remember what it's called, escort quest essentially, in order to save the politicians. That just felt more like an action movie instead of horror. So the final verdict for the Purge election year are going to be a 5.8 out of 10. That's all for today, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye.